In unison, good morning!
Good morning!
How's real estate?
Great.
How great is it?
Unbelievable.
Give yourselves a round of applause. Come on over here, guys. Come on over here. Vente. Josh, vente. Danny, vente para acá. I need your energy. Vente. Tanya, come on over. Come on. Today I'm going to cover a couple things that you probably are not expecting, but in order for us to get into the right mindset, I just want to read a little something. Here's what it says. The future rewards are always there, waiting for us. That's good news. The future rewards are always there. Juanita, come on over here, Juanita. I need your energy over here. Waiting for us. As certainly as we once dreamed, we can dream again. As surely as we once believed, we can believe again. No matter where we are right now, we still have the ability to change it all. You know, it's interesting to me that during these days, we're finalizing the 1099s and all that kind of stuff. And then I think to myself, is there anything anybody can do to change their 1099 for 2017?
Yes.
For 2017? No, for 2017, it's all water under the bridge. But here's the good news. No matter where we are right now, we still have the ability to change it all. Meaning what? 2018? 2019? You can change it all. 2017 is gone. You can't change 2017. 2017 is done. The journey towards success is a journey of 1,000 steps. And it begins with a single book. It begins with a single promise, finally kept. It begins with an awakening of our sleeping spirit, brought on by dreams of all that could be. It just came back a couple weeks ago from the NAREP Napa Board of Directors retreat. I'm not a runner. Anybody here runs? Okay. Just Lydia and Olivia. I met a runner there that his claim to fame is not having ran one marathon, but having ran one marathon a week for a straight year. He ran 52 marathons in 52 weeks. I said, good Lord, is that possible? Yes, it is. I met the guy that did it. Dane, his name is Dane. Funny guy. Very good presenter. But the moral of the story, that at the end of the day, was his motto of, ignore the impossible. There is no impossible. People told me many times, he said that I could not run 52 marathons in 52 weeks. But he did it. Then he did some other pretty amazing things. But the important thing is, this is not a lesson on running, as it is more a lesson on life. Because as the book says, the future rewards are always there, waiting for us. They're always there, waiting for us. The journey towards success is a journey of 1,000 steps. And it begins with what? A single step. It begins with what? A single book. It begins with what? A single promise kept. How many of us, blink if you're guilty, are full of unkept promises? Promises that you've made to your spouse, to your kids, to your team members, to your relatives, to your associates, worse yet, to yourself. How many of us have unkept promises? Blink if you're guilty. That's all of us. But I'm here to tell you, any day, you can change that around. It begins with the awakening of our own sleeping spirit that's brought on by the dreams of all that we could be. I love the phrase, it's possible. I love that. Unprecedented opportunity when I say the phrase, it's possible. Any day we choose, we can stand up and take that first step toward a journey that can lead us toward a new and better way of life. We must not expect the results merely because we've begun the activity, but with continued effort. Continued effort. And certain steps will surely, continued effort and certain steps surely will come our future rewards. Good stuff. All right. Okay. Now today, that got us into the right mindset. What happened to Don Carlitos? Did he disappear on me?
He's in the front in the conference room with someone else, with Clank.
All right. Okay, so today we're going to talk about a couple of things. And one of those things is, last week we had a little bit of an incident.
Scarf. Missing.
That's called the planned pause, Hector. Yes. That's to give drama to the next phrase. So last week, one of our associates came in only to find the doors wide open and unlocked and nobody home. Now, is this a problem?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Is that first time?
It's,
No.
okay, Don Raul asked, is this the first time?
No.
No. So I spoke to the team and I bounced some things around and I talked to the managers and I came up with a couple of ideas. Number one, I came up with the philosophy and the position that I do not believe that someone gets up willingly, knowingly, and consciously and says, I don't give a rat's ass about this office, I'm going to leave it open, goodbye. I don't believe that happens. Maybe I'm optimistic, maybe I'm Pollyannish, I don't know. Maybe I'm too positive, maybe I love you guys too much to think of you in that light. But what I do believe is that we have a large office, 7,500 square feet is a lot of square feet to cover mentally and physically to know who's here and who's not here. What I do believe is that many a times you are so caught up in the moment that you walk out with half a brain because you're almost stumbling through that, and I worry sometimes about that alley. A car almost runs you over because you're thinking about where it is that you're going. Compounded by the effect of pressure, competition, rising interest rates, and stress, and maybe a CMA that you are not 100% ready to present. And maybe, just maybe, a little bit late, which is the middle name for some of you in this room today. And so you tend to rush out there, stepping all over yourself, and you tend to leave. What I do believe is that sometimes there's the possibility that you are not the last one. Particularly if it's 5:30, 6 o'clock p.m. I can't even fathom that I'm the last one at 6 o'clock p.m. This is the hardest working office in the East North San Fernando Valley. Of course somebody's going to be here at 6 p.m. Not always. Not always. It's interesting that I walked in here on Sunday and Federico comes up and says, oh, compadre, I'm so impressed that you're here today and such is here today and such is here today. So we have assumptions that on Sundays it's going to be empty, but that on weekdays it's busy, 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 busy. So I told my manager's team, no, I have to give my agents the benefit of the doubt. I think that they are not, most definitely not, intentionally and irresponsibly being casual about our house. Did I say our house?
Yes,
This is our house.
it is.
We actually spend more time here other than the time you spend sleeping. I will bracket that time. But we actually, most of us, people say, Jerry, how many agents do you have? I have 75. Really? Wow. How big is your office? 10,000 square feet? No, it's only 7,500 square feet. I said, but I have full-time, part-time, and no time. And then they get a chuckle. Ha, 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 ha. I said, really? Take a look at your own office. You probably have full-time, part-time, and no time. But I'm speaking to the full-time people. You probably spend more time here, awake, than in your own home. You rush home, you make dinner, you're there, you go to the gym, you come back like at 8:30, by 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, you're already asleep. You only spend 3 hours there. Here, you spend 14 hours sometimes. So, this is our home. This is our home. And anything that jeopardizes your home, you need to, what? Nourish like a mother, protect like a father. So I thought, well, what could I do? Before pointing the finger and saying, why did you leave the door open? Because by the way, I do have CCTV and it does work. And I can identify who that last person was that walked out that door. That's not the full story though. That's not the full solution. So I thought to myself, what else can I do? I said, I know what I can do. I have how many people on staff? Like 6? 7 people on staff? Somebody should be here between 9 and 5. If 7 people work here, all 7 should not be taking lunch at the same time. If 7 people work here, all 7 should not be going out on break at the same time. If 7 people work here, somebody should be here. Most of the time. Unless there's a special something going on where I take all the staff and so on and so forth. But what happens after 5 p.m.? Well, we start changing and diminishing. Because then we go to the skeleton crew, which are the people that work here for other purposes, and those that sometimes stay here twice a week, which is Sandra. So how do we fix it? Well, I came across a great idea. Every so often I have a great idea. And this is one of those every so often. Ring the doorbell.
Ring the doorbell.
Did you know that we have a doorbell?
No.
Okay. Lydia, like most of us, does not know we have a doorbell. Does not know. But let me tell you what this is all about. Carmen, go outside. There's John Wax out there. Go out there and ring the doorbell if you will, please. Carmen, go. So, effective immediately at 5 o'clock, we will now let the deadbolt lock. Because of obvious reasons. I don't know who's going to be here and who's not. Now, what that means is that you need to ring the doorbell. Did everybody hear that? Hold on.
The light. They already rang.
Ring it again. Star 6 8. Stay over there. Can you hear me? Try it again. Star 6 8. Hello? Wow, works great. Hello? Hello? Try it one more time. Try it again. We just used it. Hello? You know what? I'll tell you what. We need to find a phone where it says doorbell. Which one is it? Well, I know it's your phone, but you're not going to be here. Okay, so we're going to change the settings so that the doorbell rings at every phone.
I couldn't hear you, but Becky asked.
And then, when you see doorbell or door something or DH, it says DH, you pick up the phone and hit *68. And then it turns into an intercom. Hello?
Wow.
What are you looking for? Oh, I'm looking for Lydia. Oh, okay, well, this is after 5 o'clock, so her office is locked. I'll let her know that you're out there.
Hey Lydia, you got somebody.
Where are you? Are you at McClay or are you at the alley? Because there's a doorbell there, and there's a doorbell there. And so your clients can call you, and then you can go out, open the door, and let them in. Okay? What if the doorbell doesn't work? Like right now.
You'll call your cell phone, your clients will.
Your clients are supposed to call your cell phone. Using Lydia as an example. Ring, ring. Lydia, your office is closed. No, it's not closed. I'm right here. I'm inside. Where are you? Are you in McClay or are you on the alley side? I'm on the alley side. I'll be right there. So now, go ahead.
I'm saying now the rule of thumb should be that if we have an appointment after 5 p.m., we should tell our client it's coming to call us when they arrive.
Absolutely.
Or the agent be here.
Right, well, but be here is different because if the client is back there and Rosa sits over here, how's Rosa going to know that the client is back there?
No, I'm talking about be physically here at the office.
Oh, yeah.
Right, if Rosa is physically right here at the office and sitting here and the client's back there, she would not know. So what you need to do is you need to tell your clients the business hours are 9 to 5. At 5 o'clock, that door automatically locks. So, but we're here. We're still here. You just need to call me. You can use the doorbell. If no one responds to the doorbell, boom, pick up the phone and call me. Okay? The receptionist or front door person is going to lock the door right before clocking out. That's who's going to lock the door.
Jerry, I have a suggestion. On a doorbell, is there a way that we can put like please ring after 5 or something like that?
Right, it's already been thought of.
Oh, cool.
It's already been thought of. Yes.
Jerry, I think that's an amazing idea that you have because as a person that's been here several times after 5:30, even until 8 o'clock, I feel now a lot more at ease that now the door can be locked. And not
Yeah.
reminding somebody lock the door.
You don't want some creep in there, walking in. And so, I know it's going to be a little bit tedious, but this is our house. We need to keep our house safe.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Any questions on that? See, every so often Jerry has a good idea. This was a good idea. So, thank you, Lydia. So let's get Nelson Neristor, or whatever his name is, to put the doorbell chime on all the phones because all the phones should know that there's somebody outside waiting. The phones that have people that usually sit in those chairs. You don't need to put the phones on the ones that with the empty chairs. Good stuff. All right. Awesome. Okay, second item that we're going to talk about today. We're going to look at the National Association of Realtors Code of Ethics. The other day I gave a Code of Ethics training, a second one, and which is fun. I actually get paid to do those. It's funny. Okay, thank you. I love to do it, and then you pay me for it. But today I want to focus on article number 11. So without looking at the screen, what does article number 11 talk about? Oh, thank you for the yawn, and I don't know. Okay. Now we know that Jerry doesn't know, but let's see. How about everybody else? Who knows what article 11 is about? Okay, let me tell you. First off, before we even get there, let me tell you this. What is the consequence financially of jumping into the carpool without the second person? You get a ticket? How much is it?
Fine,
$270
$350. Inflatable Ramona does not qualify as your second partner in the carpool lane, okay? No, it doesn't.
And your dog.
What about those blue little parking spots that
Handicap.
that are always empty, and
Yeah.
it
Not
it
true.
upsets you. Why don't they let me park there? And you happen to park there without one of those blue little signs, and then you get a present for how much?
$350.
Okay.
It's a lot.
If you violate, if you are found in violation of any of the articles of the Code of Ethics, what is the maximum fine that you are subject to? Financial. I'm just talking financial. There's another penalty, but I'm just talking financial. How much is it? A couple hundred? 500? 1,000? Higher. 2,000? Maria says 2,000. Try $15,000 is the maximum penalty. 15000.
Wow. Wow. That's a lot.
And it gets better. Take me to the CAR page. How many of you have been to the post office and you walk in and there's this kind of blurred image of somebody very famous there?
Wanted.
Who is that? Wanted for postal robbery burglary.
Right.
Oh, by the way, thank you for reminding me on that, Raul, with that distraction. By the way, that door is off limits. That's the one that has to be remained locked, day and night. Because no one ever is going to think to come back here and check that door for being locked and not locked. So try not to use it. If you use it, I expect to see you locking, unlocking, and turning around and closing and locking at that very same moment without leaving the area. Best, just not to use it. Just best not to use it. That's the entrance. The lobby's over there. Anyway, so what do you see there when you walk into the post office?
A wanted sign.
The wanted sign. And all the post office robbers, burglars, thieves are right there. And it says reward if you help us catch this guy that had something to do with postal something, thievery of sorts. The same thing now exists for real estate agents. So now if you go here to the Code of Ethics Violators publication, let's see. Look at that. Bob Jurek of Ventura Coastal Counties was found in violation of Article 1. They slapped him with a fine of $4,375. And they made him famous now. Look at this. Here's Josefina Guayo. Look at that. Josefina Guayo. Look at that. A letter of reprimand for 3 years, $1,000, plus she has to attend some other kind of class. Here's Jennifer Corrazala. Oh, Coraza, thank you. Go further up. Oh, that's Jennifer? Good Lord. No, that's Doug Bautista. No, go back down. Now, Jennifer is missing what?
Her photo.
Guess what? If you are a realtor and you are found in violation, they will summons your photo. And you have to send a photo of how you look now. Not during your quinceañera and your bar mitzvah. Of how you look now. And then they will make you famous.
So they won't take my picture.
I knew you wanted to go there. I didn't want to say anything, okay? No, you have updated headshots now, so you're off the hook. Your other photo, they may send that one back. Yeah, back when, during your bar mitzvah. Okay, so these are the kind of things, this is very, very, very real. So when I talk about the articles of the Code of Ethics, I'm not talking about the higher, loftier, call to the highest of duty and utmost fiduciary, blah, blah, blah. That's only the surface. But if you dig deep, it'll get you in a heap load of trouble. $15,000. Publication like this, make you famous. Go back up. Now you can try to be sneaky like this guy Doug, taking this, oh my goodness, look at him. He put himself in front of the church wearing the Pachuco hat. Oh, look at this, must be his partner or something, same church. Look at that. Yeah, distributing postcards. Making several promotional claims and blah, 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 and so on and so forth. So, you guys have access to this. This class right now is not for you to see what El Pachuco did. This class is for you to know that this is real. And on your own time, go to the members only section of CAR and find those that are in violation and read what they did. I told you guys a couple weeks ago, probably all of you had a moving violation before getting to this office today. Other than John Wax, he's just weird, okay? And because why? Because the California Vehicle Code says you need to walk outside and do an inspection all the way around your vehicle prior to going into it, turning it on, and driving off. Now, did I do that this morning?
Probably yes.
No, I did not. No, I am guilty. No, absolutely did not. Matter of fact, I turned on my Mercedes and I'm already driving down the driveway and it says, check coolant level. And I'm like, oh, okay, here, take a photo, send it to the mechanic. I don't care about that. So you know what I'm saying? But there are violations, and then there are violations.
Yeah.
So today, we will talk about Article 11. Let's go back to Article 11. The reason why I'm mentioning Article 11 is because most recently, we've had a little bit of Article 11-ish type of situations. Here's what they say. Article 11 says, the services which realtors provide their clients and their customers shall conform to the what? To the what? Standards of practice and competence, which, go to the next page up at the top, are reasonably expected in the specific real estate disciplines in which they engage. Specifically, what are we talking about? Residential real estate brokerage? That's one area of real estate. Another area, real property management. Do we do property management at this office?
No.
No, we do not. No, we do not. I do not allow you to do property management. Lucy does some property management under her own broker's license. None of that should say San Fernando Realty, because at San Fernando Realty, we do not do property management. Period, end of sentence. We just don't do it. If any of you have done it, you're already in violation. How do I know you're in violation? Number one, Article 11. You don't have the training. You don't have the know-how to do property management. Number two, we don't have a property management trust fund account. So you're already in violation. What'd you do with the money? You didn't put it in the trust fund account because we don't have a trust fund account for that. We don't. We don't do monthly reconciliations. So you're already in violation. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You go off, you get out of your track, you go into something else, you get in trouble. What else does it say? Commercial and industrial real estate brokerage. Commercial or industrial real estate brokerage. What color is the little red R? The little red realtor R?
Red.
Blue.
It's blue.
Blue.
If you're commercial,
It's red.
it's red. How many of you own a red pin? That's probably a sign that you are not to do commercial. Now, what is commercial? Commercial and industrial, I want you to say, is anything that is not SFR, single family residence. And what is single family residence?
1
1
to
to
4
4
units.
units.
Single unit, duplex, triplex, fourplex, condominiums, townhouse, ranch
homes.
properties,
Mobile home.
mobile homes,
Co-ops.
co-ops. That all is SFR. You can do all that. No problem. Anything with 5 units or more. Now it's residential income, specialty. Specialty, Article 11. Anything that's not a regular R1 zoning, etc., specialty. Hey, think about that. We had a situation here involving Apolonio. Apolonio took a listing over on Delano. And he comped it and so on and so forth. And I'll use him as an example. It's a great example. It happened to be RD 1.5. There's a whole other level of specialties that come in when it's commercial. Why? Because Jerry says so? No. It's already written into the code. Listen. The other thing is real estate appraisal. How many people here do real estate appraisal? Not allowed to. How about this? Real estate counseling. What is real estate counseling? What is real estate counseling? Getting paid for your legal advice or your real estate advice or being the counselor to somebody, not structured with commission. So for example, right now, there was a person that approached me that wants me to help them get a project passed here in San Fernando. If I go into that, that's real estate counseling. There's no sale, there's no commission, but they want to pay me to do the certain process. Can any of you take that kind of a gig? No, you cannot. No real estate counseling in this office. Real estate syndication. Syndication is pooling together people's money to do investments, this and that. Real estate syndications. Are you allowed to do that at San Fernando Realty?
No.
No, you're not. No, you're not. No. Real estate auctions. How many of you are auctioneers? Specialists at auctioning properties? No. International real estate. Until you get some kind of training and some kind of certification and advanced training and this and that, you don't do any of that. So, let me then just put this in two buckets, just two. SFR, regular residential, and anything that's not SFR, regular residential. Including land, including RD 1.5, things that are zoned differently, you should get another set of eyes to take a look at that. And usually, it depends what it is, I'm going to give you certain steps to do. Or I may suggest a completely different marketing approach. Why? Because the seller is counting on the fact that you have the standard of practice and competence. But how can you have that if you've never sold an RT 1.5? If you've never sold 5 units? If you've never sold commercial? Now, some of you have expressed an interest in expanding your practice to, for example, commercial. 2 people come to mind, Suli and Lydia. And I'm watching them both. And I'm thinking to myself, really? You want to do commercial? Let me see what you're doing to get you closer to commercial. Are you participating in the training? Are you going to the classes? Are you reading the books? Are you changing your membership from the blue to the red so that CAR has you on the radar as a possible commercial agent broker into the future? Think about that. If not, then maybe that's not an expansion that you want to do. For a one-off, it's probably not worth it. For a one-off. For a constant new area of business, it's probably worth it. It depends on you. It's something that you want to discuss with me. But in the interim, should we let a non-residential client go? No, we should not. We should not. Why? Because we can do it. I know how to do commercial. I know how to do multi-residential. I know how to do residential income. I know how to do all those things. But it's not only about knowing how to do it. There are other ingredients. Let me show you, for example. Let me read that prohibition. So in other words, what it says, realtors shall not undertake to provide specialized professional services concerning the type of property or service that's outside their field of competence. Unless they what? Engage in the assistance of somebody else. Now that, I'm going to give you a new verb, co-list, co-sell. So, I'll give you another example. Armando and I are co-listing La Talpense right up the street. Doesn't mean that every property that you do, you're going to have to co-list it with me. It's on a case-by-case basis. If I see you can handle it, if I ask you the right questions, send you down the right track, go for it. If not, I may have to intervene. Because if not, you may find yourself right here. As popular as Mr. Doug with the big Baptist church cross behind him. Yeah. It's not funny. It's not good. It's not fun. Make you famous. So, the question is, well, Jerry, how am I going to get experience if you don't let me do my first transaction? Well, that's what I don't want you to hear. I do want you to do your first transaction. But at a bare minimum, we will co-list on paper. Whether it's co-list, for splitting the fee or whatever, that's a separate, it depends how involved I'm gonna be. But at the very minimum, let's co-list on paper. So that I can see what you're doing. Why? There are blind spots that you'll have. There are things you won't see. Because at the beginning, you don't know what it is that you don't know.
Yeah.
Then when I point things out, then you start to realize, oh, now I know what I don't know. And then as you gain experience, then you change it up to, now I know that I know. But at the beginning, it's that you don't know what you don't know. But I know what you don't know. It's my job to do that. What else? What other kind of things are needed here? Go forward. So, for example, when you prepare a value of opinion, usually it starts right there. A value of opinion for a person that does commercial or does non-residential can be off by $100,000 or $200,000. That's different than $20,000. You're off on your CMA by $20,000. $200,000, different story. Because you don't know. Be knowledgeable about the type of property value. Really? How many of those have you listed? Speak to your inner voice, guys. Protect your heart. This is your broker protecting you. Number 2, you must have access to the information and resources that are necessary to formulate an accurate opinion. Most recently, there was a $1 million closing that happened at this office. And one of the reasons why it happened is because a broker that an agent that used to work for this office, no longer works for this office. And that agent's new office does not have access to the information and resources necessary to formulate an accurate opinion. And so they lost out on $1/2 of $1 million sale. Because here, we do have access to that. But it's not free. CoStar, LoopNet, collectively, on a monthly basis, cost us what, Carmen? Más o menos? Monthly basis, both together? LoopNet and CoStar.
Couple hundred, maybe? A couple of hundred?
Couple hundred?
I think, yeah.
Couple hundred is just LoopNet.
I'm not sure.
Plus CoStar. So it's probably, I'd say, guesstimating $600 for CoStar, another, let's say $300 for LoopNet. Let's call it about $1,000. Let's call it about $1,000. Times 12, $12,000.
Wow.
A year. Wow. Can't sign up for a month. Can't sign up for 2 months. Got to sign up for 1 year. 1 year. 1 year. I've heard people complain because once a year they pay $800. Here we pay $12,000 a year for LoopNet and CoStar combined. LoopNet and CoStar combined. $12,000. But you need to have it. You need to have the information and resources. And then finally, you must be familiar with the area. Unless, there's one exception. Unless you make the client sign a form. I understand I am Jerry Asensio's experimental first guinea pig client, and he knows nothing about commercial, but I still think he's smart enough to figure it out. Then, no violation. How many times have you written that letter? Exactly. You're trying to go in there and bluff it, like you do know what you're doing. So I want you to think about that. Next, then it goes into what things you are supposed to put into an opinion of value. I'm not going to go into that. Go further up. And then it goes into the appraisal, which I'm not going to go into that. Then it goes here into counsel. Again, we said counsel. You can't do counsel. You only can work off commissions. Only. If anyone is ever paying you for anything that is not commission-based, you're probably in violation. Come see me quickly, rápido, because you're probably in violation. There has to be a commission attached to it in order for you to get paid, as it relates to real estate. You're probably in violation if you're getting paid for anything that does not include a sales commission. A commission. And then it finally says, the competency required by Article 11 relates to the services contracted between the realtors, etc., and their clients expressly for a couple categories. Number one, those things that are imposed by the Code of Ethics, and then secondly, the ones that are imposed by law or regulation, and then third, I would add by, it's called commonly accepted business practice. So what does commonly accepted business practice require of you? What does the law require of you? What does the Code of Ethics require of you? You satisfy all three, you're clear on Article 11. You don't satisfy all three, you find yourself in trouble. So, easiest way to look at this. Anything that is not a cookie cutter, normal transaction, etc., run it by a broker. Be on the safe side and run it by your broker. Because I won't know that Apolonio has an RD 1.5 until I know he has an RD 1.5. And if he tells me after escrow closed and he should have done 10 other things that he didn't do and sets us all up for a lawsuit and him for an Article 11 on top of that, that's not funny. Anything that's not a vanilla, cookie cutter, normal, pacoima, 3-bedroom, whatever, come see me. Maybe it'll just be, oh, you're fine. Keep moving forward. Or maybe it'll be, that's interesting. Sit down. I need more information. No. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do that. But I can't tell you if I don't know. So that's up to you. That is your responsibility. I'm not going to check with every single, Tanya, is that one a regular or single family? Tanya, is that a single? Oh, come on. No. It's up to Tanya to say, well, wait a minute, what's this zoning? It's kind of weird, kind of different. Then you'll probably come and ask me a question. Then I'll probably give you some homework to do and get back to me, and so on and so forth. Because I want you to learn how to do it. It's not that I want to do it for you. I want to teach you how to do it. And some things we will explore together. Because do I have every answer?
No.
No. Do I know everything?
No.
No, I do not. Absolutely not. But we'll learn together. We'll explore together. And we will do the very best job for your client. Good stuff.
Jerry, can I comment on something?
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of scary because this is our livelihood too. This is what we eat and what we eat from and what we do, I guess, for a living, you know. And it's kind of scary because we might do a violation of article without wanting to, you know.
Remember what I said about the people and leaving the door open intentionally? I think the same of most realtors. Most. Not all. Hay unos que sí son ratas, tranzas, mentirosos, estafadores, lo peor. But most are good people. But they don't know they're in violation. Part of that responsibility is their broker's responsibility. The brokers never told them. Some time ago, I got a very good suggestion. It was actually from Lorena, who's sitting in the room today, to throw on a video. Close with something of a different voice, etc. Today I was reminded of that. So I want you to just watch this little video and listen to Mr. Jim Rohn's wisdom. Ignore the fact of what he says there. Well, I'll tell you what to ignore once he's done with the message. But listen to this. Put yourself in that space, and we will close our meeting with this message that you could take back with you. That was great, Lucy. Give me a chance to have my breakfast warm. No light?
Light.
Oh well, so much for that Lorena idea. We'll get it working. Guys, come on up here. Come up here, Steve. Come up here, Rebecca. Come up and say hello. We'll get it to work, and that's fine. If not, make it quick and snappy and tell us what you want to say. Steve's going to say, it's almost ready. They don't know what I'm talking about. It's okay, Steve. Don't feel like I put you on the spot.
That's an inside joke. Jim Rohn speaks about inside jokes when his seminars, remember? Thank you, Jerry.
We take two to
Go ahead.
You
He's
found it?
bigger than.
He's bigger than me.
He was. Okay, Rosita, he was.
half hours on the weekend for the whole 10-year plan. We don't have time for that tonight. But let me get you started with a little simple formula Mr. Schoaf gave me. And maybe this will be helpful. First of all, I've divided goals into two parts. First is long range. Long range goals. That's your dreams. Your dreams for the next 3, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Actually, the rest of your life. Your dreams. You've got to keep dreaming. Ronald Reagan, president, said to the joint session of Congress a few weeks ago, the Republic is a dream. And if we don't keep dreaming, we will lose the Republic. Your better future is a dream for yourself and for your family. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What do you want to be? What do you want to see? You've got to dream dreams. There's a Bible phrase that says, without dreams and visions, people perish. You've got to have something to go for that inspires the heart and the soul. Dreams. From the children of Sanchez, it says, take the crumbs from starving soldiers, they won't die. Take the bread from hungry children, they will cry. But without dreams, we all will die. You've got to dream. Don't lose your dreams. For yourself, for your future, for your family. The dreams of love and enterprise and travel and doing things. Becoming something unique on your journey here. Don't lose your dreams. Do some dreaming. That's long-range goals. You've got to have those. So that's number one. Here's the second part of goals, short-range. Short-range goals. That's your goals for tomorrow, this week, this month, this year. The immediate future. We call these confidence builders. Because if you set up something short-range, go for it. Get it. Latch onto it. Work hard. Accomplish it. That starts building your strong feelings to go for your dreams. Now, I've divided goals into 3 categories. Here they are. Number 1 is economic. That's your goals for money, income, business, profits, production. Economics. Make sure you've got your economics well planned. Economics plays a major role in everybody's life. Economics is major, which means it ought to be meticulously well planned for tomorrow, this week, this month, this year, long range. What if you asked somebody tomorrow if you could see their meticulously well-planned list of economic goals? What would they probably say? They'd say, you some kind of a nut? You must be weird. Hey, I found out what success is. Success is doing what the failures won't do. Make sure you've got your economics well planned. It'll put you in the top 5%. One of the key little subjects we talk about on the weekend is the 7 fundamentals for wealth and happiness. And that's one of them, well-planned economics. It's a fundamental if you want to do well. Join the top 5%. Anybody in this room can join the top 5%, if you will. Okay. Now here's the second category of goals, things. Make a list of the things you want. And on my list of things, now I put everything. Little things as well as major things. Doesn't matter how small it is, it goes on my list. I used to just put major things, cars, homes. I don't do that anymore. I now load my list with everything. Everything. And the reason is, part of the fun of having a list is checking it off. That's it. Boy, at the end of the day, if you can go, got it, got it, got it, got it, got it, got it, whatever it is, right? You get into the habit. So load up your list, the things you want. Now, when you check off something major, celebrate. That's an important point to make. Celebrate your achievements. Live it up. Have a party when you reach something you've worked for a while. See, we all grow from 2 experiences. One is called the pain of losing. The other one is called the joy of winning. We need both of them. Amplify them as much as you can. Which also means make losing painful. If you set up something, fooled around, didn't get it, put it on yourself. On the other side, if you did get it, congratulate yourself. Self-congratulations is a sign of maturity. Seeking congratulations is a sign of immaturity. But hey, winning and losing, see, that's what it's all about. That's the name of the game. Now, some people lead such mediocre lives, at the end of the day, they don't know whether they're winning or losing. They've got no clue. Guy's just going through the day with his fingers crossed. There's a better way. Okay, here's the third category of goals, personal development. Put those goals together. Personal development goals. That's your goals to be stronger, more decisive, be a speaker, be a leader, learn a language, all kinds of skills. Okay. The whole weekend seminar was designed to improve all your skills so that you walk away more skillful. And that's what you want, the personal development skills. That's what attracts, that's what brings good things to your life, the person you become, more skillful. Now, this is quite a package to work on. Economics, things, personal development. For tomorrow, this week, this month, this year, long range. Okay? That'll get you started. Now, here's the simple formula for setting goals. It goes like this. A, work on your goals. That's step one. Work on them. And I put the word work there deliberately. Setting goals is plain hard work. I don't want to kid you. We haven't come here tonight to kid each other. It's work. I know it's work. That's why a lot of people just let it slide. It's work. Many people work hard on their job, but they don't work hard on their future. They just let that slide. And the work involved is making plans. I know most people don't. I understand that. But don't let that be you. Guy says, well, yeah, you work where I work, but by the time you struggle home, it's late. You've got to eat a bite of supper, watch a little TV, get to bed. You can't sit up half the night. Plan, plan, plan. And the guys behind. Good worker, hard worker, sincere. But you've got to be better than sincere, working hard. You've got to be better than a good worker. You've got to be a good planner. Somebody once wisely said, the people who fail to plan are planning to fail. Well said. So work on your goals. Here's step 2. Write your goals down. That's so important. I teach my staff around the world, put your goals in your journal. Because one of the major people you want to study is yourself. So here's a list of goals I put together 3 weeks ago. Here's the list of goals I put together 2 years ago. Here's some of the changes I made, rearrangement of my priorities. I scratched these off, I put these on, I've gotten these. Study your accomplishments, study what your desires are. Put them on paper, write them down. Here's another reason for writing your goals down. It shows you're serious about doing better. And to do better, you gotta get serious. You don't have to be grim, but you must be serious. Everybody hopes things will get better. Everybody hopes. Poor people hope. That ought to tell you something. It means the future does not get better by hope. It gets better by plan. I used to have the affliction called passive hope. It's an affliction. It's bad. Probably what's even worse than that is happy hope. Now that is really bad. That's bad. Happy hope. The guy's 50 and he's broke and he's still smiling. See, that's not good. So get serious about your goals, put them on paper, write them down. There's all kinds, his goals, her goals, their goals. Business goals, financial independence goals, family goals. I mean, there's so many things to work on this, that if you don't get busy and work on it, sure enough, the time will pass. And sure enough, 5 years from now, you'll wind up where you don't want to be, wearing what you don't want to wear, driving what you don't want to drive, being what you don't want to be. Now's the time to fix it. Now here's the third step to your goals. Check the size of your goals and the kinds of goals. How big they are, what kind they are, affects you. And here's one of the important phrases of the evening. Your goals are affecting you, whatever they are. Your goals affect your handshake. Your goals affect your attitude, personality. Your goals affect the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you dress. All day long, we're being affected by our goals. Now, some people have goals, but they have such lousy goals. The effect is bad. I asked a guy one time, what are your goals for this month? The guy said, look, if I could just scrape up enough money to pay these lousy bills. That was his goal. I'm not saying it isn't a goal. It's a goal, but it's such a lousy goal, the effect is bad. You don't jump out of bed on Monday morning and say, oh boy, another chance to go out and scrape up the money to pay my lousy bills. See, you don't do that. Usually you say, oh, not another Monday. And some people have so given up on life, they have joined the thank God it's Friday club. How sad. Surely those are the same people, when life is over for them, will say, thank God it's over.
Good stuff. Last thing that I'll tell you regarding my previous subject is that what I just told you about Article 11 starts with me. So I just listed a property a couple weeks ago on Chatsworth. Man, talk about a dog with fleas, you know, missing 2 legs, 1 bent ear, and 1 blind eye.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that thing is a disaster, you know. Not an actual dog, okay, for the dog lovers. No, I love dogs myself. What I mean by that is, you know, residential but not residential, commercial but not commercial, limited commercial but not real commercial, you know, extensions of buildings that are not permitted. You know, the seller pulls out a loan in September, dies in November, never makes a payment. The lender comes in after a dead seller and starts to foreclose on the seller, notice of default, having to get a temporary restraining order against the lender to give us enough time. Wait a minute, your borrower is dead, give me a chance to sell it. The appointing of an administrator, the fact that it's now a probate, the probate Lazarus administration not coming in. Whoa! So, and to top it all off, the attorney, the probate attorney, has a good friend in real estate that he wants that person to take the listing and not me. So in a situation like that, I brought in my good friend, Brian Hadkoff. He's a commercial broker, and we ended up co-listing the property together.
Nice.
Sometimes it's better to get 50% of something and a super satisfied client with future upside than 100% of nothing. Or worse yet, ending up with an Article 11, a $15,000 fine, and being famous with the church cross behind me.
Your picture's beautiful.
So just think about that. What I said right now doesn't apply to you guys only. It applies to me. And if there's ever a piece of business that you come across that I don't feel that I could even handle, I'm like, that's just weird, you know. Let's call in somebody else. And we will. You'll still get a piece of it. You'll still get paid. Not everything, but you'll still get paid. But the upside of doing the right thing is always the best policy. Good stuff. All right. All right, more quiz. Here we go.
Jerry was mocking me, but it goes back to 1996, 22 years ago. I set a dream and a goal, and I wrote it all down. I told Jerry, and he was a big part of it, huge. economic, spiritual, financial, family. Big, 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 with all the different pieces. He mocks me about my pieces. And once again, he was a big part because of Jim Rowan, sitting in his office, 1996, and I keep on going. I sent him an email this morning to go. 2 more weeks, we are all done, everything is set. But thank you, brother. That was, I appreciate it. So, setting goals, planning it, and Lorena, thanks for having him do this. What a great situation, and your business is doing fantastic. She just double-ended a property. Congratulations. And setting up goals, big goals, dreams. Jerry loves to mock Steve Oquist, the white widow, but I love Jerry. And I want to have a huge congratulations. 26 years of marriage. Everybody knows marriage is wonderful and changes. He's got his beautiful wife who I adore. Congratulations, Jerry. 26 years of marriage. I think she does, a big one. Perfect. So, thank you. And just one more step. Setting your goals, financial, building this building, having 3 sons that are all good kids. That's unbelievable. So, God bless you. That's wonderful. Next item. Recording deeds. Somebody needs something special recorded, something done. We just had a situation where the other escrow and title isn't the escrow here, and it's not my title, but they won't record certain deeds. We'll be glad to do it after. Just let Jerry know. We'll go through and make things right for you. Thank you very much, and Rebecca.
So I know that we had some instructions on certain deeds that we can do for you where we did not close the escrow, where the client is a past client. And as I mentioned before, we can do those deeds. We can get them recorded with Steve as an accommodation. We just have to run it by Jerry. A lot of the other escrow companies, whether you were the selling agent and you want to add a husband or a wife or the parents onto title, once escrow closes, they say, no, we're not going to do it because of that liability, which is very true. That's very true, which is why we don't do it. However, Jerry makes an exception for you guys because he trusts you and your clients and your relationships. So if that ever is an issue on another transaction that you closed and you want to add somebody on, because it's your client, now a past client, we'll be happy to do that for you. Even though I was not the escrow, we'll type that up for you. We'll get it signed and notarized. We'll get it over to Steve to get a quote on how much that will be so your client can get that recorded. On another note, Steve referred me to a company where we can get numbers for all those who would like to cold call. So we were able to get how many numbers? 10,000 numbers.
Oh, nice.
That's great. Yes. And so, but I mean, because that this is another feature that escrow sponsors. You know, these are all the financial, you know, positive, you know, that comes out of you giving us the business, of us giving you whatever we can do to help you grow. So those numbers he's going to forward over to Sandra. Oh, the contacts, yes, to Sandra and Olivia, so that you guys can get those numbers over to you and you guys can get some cold calling done. And again, anything else you guys need from us, old escrows, new listings, and yes, a big shout out to Lorena. I don't see her.
She's over here.
Oh, she's hiding. Yes, I'm very proud of her. She's working really hard on her new listing. We had a successful open house, all while working at escrow under me, which isn't very easy, and being a single mom. So I'm very proud.
Awesome, Lorena, thanks for the idea. And the video isn't something that I will do at every meeting because we want to be respectful of everyone's time and make sure that we don't go to 1.5 hour formats and those kind of things. But maybe on the days that, for example, that I'm on travel, that would be another good suiting place. And I want to inspire you to look for this kind of knowledge on your own. You know, one of your best friends should be YouTube, because most words of wisdom and experience are already on YouTube somewhere. So look for it. And if you come across a message that just moves you, then send it over to me. And maybe that's the one that we'll share the next time that we have a little spot for that. So I grew up on this stuff. I'm a junkie for this stuff. So when Lorena said, well, you should probably end your meeting and, you know, with something like this, and when Hector has told me many times that during the week you should send out something like this, a message, and so on and so forth, for me it's almost a law of familiarity because that's the language I speak. But I encourage you to go out there and find those little treasures. And if you come across one that's reasonably short in length, 10 minutes or less, then send it over. And then maybe that'll be one that we will feature on another week. Okay, 5th place, 575,000, Olivia Chavez, congratulations. 4th place, 582,000, Ramona Padilla, congratulations, Ramona. Awesome. 3rd place, 810,000, the numbers are getting nice and juicy here. Lucy Herrera, congratulations, Lucy. 2nd place, 1,085,000, Jerry Senior, congratulations. And on track for a most recent goal that they just put together, and this shows it, $2,250,000 of production in the month of March. Salazar Group, 1st place. Congratulations. Awesome. 3rd place with their 1 listing, congratulations to Lucy Herrera, to Corina, and to Lorena. Give it up for all 3 of them. Corina, congratulations. Lucy, congratulations. Lorena, congratulations. And 2nd place with 2 listings, Team Asensio, congratulations. And jumping into 1st place with 3 listings, Armando Sandoval and the Perez Aguilar team, congratulations. Before we leave today, we just want to announce, on Saturday it was Sandra's birthday, and so you won't see her today. She's out sick today, so try to give her some peace and not blow up her phone. And let her rest. And then when she comes back, she'll be in great spirits to hopefully help you guys on everything that she does, and she does a wonderful job. And then you can also congratulate her on her birthday, which was Saturday. And Veronica brought in some cheese balls back there, but then she had to leave. And so go out there and enjoy Veronica's Portos, and it's all calorie-free today, so don't worry about it, okay? Yes, compadre. I want to personally thank everyone that helped. Everyone helped in a different way. So for example, Wednesday was my anniversary, so I didn't go. I had already plans for dinner with my wife, but I saw some beautiful pictures there of you guys helping out and rolling up your sleeves. Those of you that helped with your labor, those of you that helped with your contributions, those of us that helped financially, those of you that helped with bringing something, those of you that helped spread the word and motivate others to do something. And remember that the one thing that everyone has is a little bit of time. Let's say that you're going through a dry spell, you don't have, excess this, excess that. The one thing that you can carve out is a little bit of time. Maybe time to go to the event, maybe time to recognize somebody that did go to the event, maybe time to honk to the person flying point, which in this case was Raul Chavez, flying point for this particular activity. Maybe the time to next time be the person that's flying point, because you never know. I'll close with this just one little story, and that is, does anybody know that I have more than a few compadres? Half the valley is my compadre, and I have a lot of godsons and a lot of goddaughters and that kind of thing. And the other day, one of my very good friends, his name is Checo Alonso. He's the harpist for Mariachi Los Camperos, just a great guy. I love him to death. And I told him one day we're going to be compadres, even if it takes me to get you to get your wife pregnant again, and so on and so forth. And he's still working on that, and he's all smiles. Oh, no, that was not the point. The point was that his son came in, he calls me up and he says, can I see you at your office? Sure. So that's kind of weird, my compadre doesn't usually say, can I see you at your office? So he came to my office and he brought his little son, Joel. And Joel came up, and I saw Joel in there, and I saw Checo, and I saw Yanni, and I'm like, what is this about? I kind of got a feeling for what this was going to be about. And it was that, Carmen, could you go ahead and sign for that FedEx package so that this person can actually go on about their productive day? That would be great. And I said, I kind of feel where this is going. And it just, to my acknowledgement, because I'm a little bit psychic, it's weird because I kind of see things before they happen, and my family that knows me has seen that in me since I was a kid, and it's just, sometimes it blows their mind, sometimes it blows my mind. Anyway, I predicted, and that's what it was. It was little Joel saying, I'm going to be receiving my first Holy Communion, and I would like for you to be my godfather. And I gave him a big hug, and I said yes, and all this kind of stuff. No, thank you for that, thank you. And then I turned around and looked at him and said, wait a minute, was this your idea, or was it my compadre trying to get out of having to get his wife pregnant again? And so was it their idea? And he said, no, it was my idea. He looked at me very seriously. And my compadre said, well, tell him, why you thought of him. And he said, well, I always knew you were a good guy. Little tiny guy like this telling me something like that. And he said, but the other day when I saw that you were like in Mexico, and that you were going to an orphanage, and I said, I think I'm right. He is a good guy. And coming from this little tiny person, and the moral of the story is you never know who's watching. And sometimes with you doing something, you will inspire somebody else to fly point doing something else. And so all eyes are on you. And if you're limited on everything else, the one thing that we all have an equal amount of is time. Sometimes just running that extra mile. And you don't know who you're going to inspire. Maybe that you inspire somebody that's going to ask you to be their godfather, godparent, godmother. I didn't know the little guy was paying attention. I don't think his parents set him up for that kind of an answer. But he's pretty smart. But he watches online to see what's going on. Did some research on me, I guess. Makes me wonder what else he saw on Facebook that I've been doing. So I got to be careful on that. Okay, just thought I'd share that little story with you. Give me a drummer. Here we go. Lorena, Sylvia, the Salazar Group, Team Asensio, Armando, Hector, Fernando, the Salazar Group, Corina, Ramona, Maria Garcia, the Salazar Group, Jerry Jr., Olivia, Lorena, Team Asensio, the Salazar Group, Lucy, Armando, Fernando, Lucy, Sylvia, the Salazar Group, Lorena, Corina, Team Asensio, Salazar Group, Lucy, Fernando, and Sylvia. Congratulations. You are all dismissed. You are free to roam and conquer the world.
Amen.
And go have some cheese balls back there. Okay.